Oh my God.
Yes, Mr. Diabolical coming at you with another one. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the fake black and brown coalition. A lot of these so-called Hispanics are out here, talking about why black people ain't out there with the capes on, about them getting deported, and why black people ain't saying nothing about ICE just pulling up on some of these illegal Hispanics over here, these illegal Latinos. I don't like using that word Hispanic because it's just a term for them to identify as being white because they got colonized by Spain, and Spain's in Europe, so they think they just some exotic European because they got colonized. So I really don't like using that term. I'm just gonna call them Latinos. I don't like that term Hispanic, man, because that's just a buffer term for them to try to classify themselves as white because, like I said, Spain is in Europe, so they like to identify with their oppressors. It's like I always use this analogy, like when the French went over to Haiti and they tried to colonize Haiti, and all the Haitians speak French. Them Haitians ain't French; they Haitians. They just speak French. They just got colonized by France. The same thing goes with these Latinos, these Mexicans, these Cubans, these Puerto Ricans, these Dominicans. These people got colonized by Spain. They want to identify with their colonizers, which I don't know. That's like a slave identifying with the slave owner. So how you gonna be the victim and be the oppressor at the same time? That's basically what these Latinos be trying to do. But I've been seeing a lot of these videos, these TikTok videos about, some of these Latinos talk about why black people ain't out there protesting and all that stuff. And, we don't need to put the cape on for these people, man, because these people practice anti-black racism on a daily basis, 24/7. Like I said, I used to work with a whole bunch of anti-black racist Latinos at this restaurant. They ain't want to serve black folks. They ain't want to give black people no promotions. All the managers and Latinos can barely even speak English, can barely even do the job correctly. So I don't put the cape on for these people. These people, they just like the white supremacists, man. They want to be white so bad. And then they don't understand that the white supremacists use them as a buffer against black folks, against foundational black Americans. So they just use them just to come over here and take all the jobs from black people, so black people can't get no jobs, and black people out here suffering because of these immigration and all that other stuff. So they don't know that the white supremacists to really be using them against us. The only reason why they over here is to take resources from foundational black Americans. So they don't understand that. That's why they getting deported. They was over here for one specific reason, and Donald Trump and the white supremacists, they don't need them no more to be a buffer for us, because we live in a system of white supremacy in the United States, a racial hierarchy. And they come over here and knock us down a peg in the racial hierarchy, because we at the bottom of the racial totem pole. And they let all these Latinos and these other immigrants over here. So we at the bottom of the racial totem pole. So these people, they want us to come fight for them. I'm not putting the cape on, because all these those LULAC organizations, man, they have all them presidents, and they always saying all kind of anti-black racist stuff. Like on this picture I got on here, talking about the Negro problem. It's not our problem, and the Mexicans, they deserve to be classified as white. There's a lot of stuff these LULAC folks just said, and I'm not putting the cape on for these people. These people practice too much anti-black racism. You got Nick Fuentes running around, Enrico Tarrio, that was a leader of the Proud Boys, quote unquote. And you got all these anti-black racist Latinos in Los Angeles, in California, and you got racist Latinos in Texas. They're everywhere practicing anti-black racism. I'm not finna put the cape on for these folks. No, I'm not finna put the cape on for them. And if an ICE truck roll up, I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna do nothing. I'm just gonna let them do what they have to do. Man, these people practice too much anti-black racism, especially out here in Texas. I live in Texas, man. So these folks are everywhere practicing anti-black racism. When the white supremacists ain't around, them the ones practicing anti-black racism, and it's sad. And I get tired of these delusional black folks telling me that everybody ain't racist. These folks practice anti-black racism every day. And I get tired of black people telling me that, these naive, delusional black folks. Some of them might be foundational black Americans, but I don't know. But I have heard a lot of black people try to come to their defense, talking about, I ain't all of them racist. I'm like, dude, because you laying up with one of them don't mean they ain't racist, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting tired of black folks trying to put the cape on for some of these people. When I say that these people are anti-black racist, that's what I mean. I don't need no random black person telling me, no, they ain't racist. Well, get the hell up out of here, man. Black people, you got to wake up. You got to wake up. There is no black and brown coalition. There is no black and Hispanic coalition. Because if you met with some woman or some dude you laying up with, they just got a fetish for black folks. That don't mean that they ain't racist. It's like back in slavery days, the plantation owner was laying up having sex with the slaves and still make them slaves go out there and pick that cotton. That doesn't, sex don't mean nothing in a system of white supremacy. That don't mean anything. People got their little fetishes. But like I said, man, there is no black and brown coalition. So these black folks need to wake up. Now, there's a lot of black people out here in the United States. They waking up. They seeing how anti-black racist these Latinos are. But some black folks still left behind. And they need to wake up as well. There is no black and brown coalition. The foundation of black Americans, they need to wake up and get hip to the game. Because some of these states ain't a whole bunch of Latinos at. There's like 4 states in the United States with a bunch of Latinos. You got California, New Mexico, Arizona, and Texas. The rest of the United States ain't full of Hispanics like all Latinos like that. So it's only in these 4 states that there's all these problems going on then with the anti-black racism with these folks. You know, you got some people up in New York and in Florida, but them like Puerto Ricans and Cubans. And Puerto Ricans up there in New York and the Cubans and Dominicans in Florida. Ain't a whole bunch of Mexicans or no other people living in New York and Florida like that. It's different ones. But they all practice anti-black racism as well. Especially the Cubans down there in Florida and the Puerto Ricans up there in New York. They practice a whole bunch of anti-black racism, the same as these Mexicans do down here in Texas and California and New Mexico and Arizona. They practice the same kind of anti-black racism. They own code, the what they call it in Spanish, white in the race, Melalar La Raza. Oh, I forgot how you pronounce it. Melalar La Raza, white in the race. That's what they think about black folks. We all kind of pinching mayates and we lazy, you don't want to work. And some of these black folks out here trying to put the cape on, telling me they ain't racist toward black folks because you laying up with one, you been in one of them houses and stuff like that with their family. Come on, man. I had some security guard tell me that they ain't all racist. I'm like, dude, get the hell up out my face. If I say that these people practice anti-black racism, these people are anti-black racists. I don't want to hear no black person coming out of nowhere telling me what they ain't. That's why we at the bottom of the racial totem pole right now. With that type of mindset. Once you realize that we live in a system of white supremacy, you need to take the actions to stop the system of white supremacy, what we can do about it. Instead of sitting there trying to come to these people rescue. Talking about they ain't racist toward blacks. They ain't all of them racist. Everybody ain't racist. Yeah, they are. They might know somebody who might be anti-black, but they ain't doing nothing about it. They ain't telling them nothing. They ain't out on them. They ain't putting them on Front Street. They ain't telling nobody they got somebody in their family member that's anti-black. They ain't doing nothing about it. So they complicit. So like I said, there ain't no black and brown coalition. I'm not putting the cape on for these folks. When the ICE truck comes, they're gonna have to come. I'm not putting my life on the line for these anti-black racist folks. Because it's hard out here for foundation of black Americans. Not only you got to deal with the racist white folks, you got to deal with the racist Latinos, the racist Asians, the racist Arabs, the racist East Indians. You got all these racist folks, the racist Italians, all these anti-black racist people you got to deal with out here in the United States. So it's just, it gets tiring sometimes dealing with anti-black racism. You got anti-black racism coming from every which way. So it's kind of hard out here for foundational black Americans to get stuff going, to get money the right way. Because you got all these anti-black racist folks coming out the woodwork. Your mind thinking, like, when black folks think about somebody being racist, you think about some white supremacist, some white person. But no, it ain't like that. It's a whole bunch of these other immigrant groups coming over here practicing that same type of anti-black racism, trying to be white, trying to be accepted by the white supremacists. And the white supremacists, they letting them know that you're not fully white, you're not going to be accepted by whites, and that's why they're getting deported. So black people, don't put the cape on. ICE come, let them come, do what they got to do. We don't have no black and brown coalition. It's been Mr. Diabolical in the holler.